It is indeed another blessed Thursday, another day that the Lord has blessed. We are so grateful. We are so honored to be back with you once again, right here on Living Precepts with me, your host, Naomi Wesi. Welcome, welcome to Africa USA Radio. I have a very, very interesting guest with me today. You know, every Thursday, I get to introduce great guests, great authors from right here, from Mzanzi, from South Africa, and you also get to hear them on an international platform. So it is my pleasure, it is my honor to be having Pastor Eva Chauke with me right here on the show. And let me tell you, she's in the studio. She's in our Pretoria studio today, right here on Living Precepts. Hello, hello, Pastor Eva. How are you?
Hello, Kele.
How are
I'm
you,
fine, thanks with you, my sister.
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. I'm so excited. I'm so excited and I'm so honored. I'm so privileged to be having you for the very first time on Africa USA Radio. What an honor.
Kolebo Haruna. Thank you so much.
Mm. It's been a long way coming, hey?
Yes.
You and I have
Yes.
history as far as this interview is concerned. It was supposed to happen a very long time ago. But you know, God always has his own time, right?
At the right time, he makes things
Yes,
beautiful.
in his own time. And I
Yes.
believe today is a perfect, perfect time for
Yes.
us to connect. And I was so excited, to see you, to get to meet you for the very first time. You are such a wonderful soul. You are such a beautiful woman. You are such a powerhouse, I must say. And when I read your interview, I mean not your interview, your profile, and realize that not only are you an author, but you are a pastor, you are a songwriter, you've also recorded an album. Wow. You are so power packed, woman. You
It's the
are really
grace. It's
loaded.
the grace.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
we
it's the
thank God.
grace. Yeah,
Yeah, we
every
thank God.
step of the way he has us
Mm, mm.
in the palm of his
Yes, we
hands.
thank God for the grace of God upon your life. And you've written so many books. I must say, you've written 7 books that we
Yes.
will be chatting about, that you'll be telling us more about, and just, sharing your journey with these books that you have written. But first and foremost, since it's the first time you are our guest here on Africa USA Radio, I believe most of our listeners and our viewers would love to know who Pastor Eva really is. Who is Pastor Eva really? Just to break the ice.
Mm. Okay, Pastor Eva. Okay, I'll say Eva. Okay,
Pastor.
is a daughter to Ephraim and Paulina.
Okay.
Yes, I was raised being a very shy girl.
Mm.
I never even anticipated me being somebody who can even write one sentence in my life.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
I was very, very shy when I grew up.
Mm.
We grew up in a family of 7. One passed away, and the rest of us are still here.
Sure.
But
Sure.
yeah,
Big
initially
family,
my
eh?
father, he was a teacher and he wanted us to be teachers. But
Mm.
yeah, I chose to be a nurse.
Yeah.
So I'm a nurse. No, I'm on pension. I was a
You
nurse.
used to
I
be.
used to be. Woo,
Okay.
it sounds like I'm discarded.
Mm.
Okay. All right. I was a nurse.
It's
So
okay. Nursing is still in you, maybe. That's why.
it will all, even when you
Right. Even
preach,
even
it's inside of you.
exactly. Even after retirement, you would
It,
still consider yourself a
exactly, my
nurse.
darling.
Right.
So yeah. So ultimately, I got born again. It's
Mm.
just one area that I thought I'll never even venture into, because I remember there was a time. Remember when our late President Mandela came out of prison, I was one of those who were excited, saying, yeah, they keep on saying Jesus, Jesus.
Yes.
Here's our Jesus coming out of.
Wow.
Sometimes when you are foolish, you think you're clever. You say funny things. So that's what I was saying. But yeah, because God is love and He's gracious, ultimately He got me where He wanted me. So I got born again. Even then, I was still shy. I didn't think that I could do much, even in the kingdom of God.
Sure.
But for me, today, to say, I've written 7 books.
It's amazing.
It's a miracle.
It's amazing.
It's a miracle. Indeed, the grace of God is with us every step of the way.
You're quite an inspiration, really,
Thank you.
to have written 7 books. Not many are able to reach. Some even struggle to start even writing the first book. But for you to reach the numbers, and 7 is the number of perfection, right?
Yes.
So it makes a lot of statement for you to have written so many books.
That is why, I was chatting to you saying that, one thing that God has given me, I have that attitude of, I'm not scared to venture out, because I think the problem with a lot of people is that they don't want to venture out.
Sure.
They allow fear to hinder them to do a lot of things. That is why even people who are interested in writing, I say to them, just start doing something. You can't say, yeah, I was thinking of writing a book. Start writing something. And then from there, you'll work on that. And that's what I did even with my first book. Initially, I wanted to write a book because I thought I was going to be married to a certain guy in the church. So because I was having these dreams, I was shutting them down. And later on, the guy got married.
Oh,
and
wow.
I realized, my storyline is gone. My storyline is gone.
Oh, no.
So, but yeah, because God is God, then I have to think, well, okay, the thought of me writing a book is in me. So it doesn't mean that I can't write anything. And at that point in time, I felt that God had removed a lot of baggage. When we grow up, we go through a lot of things.
Yeah.
And sometimes we are not even aware. So, but the peace that I experienced at that point in time made me to say, okay, let me just write about the things that I used to do before I got born again, so that I can encourage somebody. Because a lot of people, when they see us, they think, well, we never did anything. You never went through anything. Even my best friend, when I told her that I used to drink to the point that they would allow me to sit under the chair wherever we were, and then they will wake me up when it's time to go home.
Right.
She said, no,
it's
you are
unbelievable.
telling stories.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But that's what I used to do at that time. But God has been faithful. So my encouragement is that, God, that's why Jesus said, I'm looking for those that are the ones, the rejected ones. I'm not looking for people who are keen. So yeah, I think the background of my first book, it's not over until God says it's over, comes from there. I want to encourage somebody who's out there, who's drinking, who's been doing this. Maybe you are involved with wrong people and you carry the shame. Jesus is able to remove the shame. Jesus, he will clean. He knows how to clean up the mess. So yeah, that was what
I love that title of that book. It's not over till God says it's over. It just speaks volumes to me. I resonate so much with that. Yeah, with that title. As a matter of fact, I told you before we started that there's a song that my producer and I recorded, of which he wrote, with the same title. It's not over till God says it's over.
We can pair them together.
We
Sell the
can.
book
Yes.
and the CD.
Yes.
girl.
No, actually, you took my idea, because for a long time, since after we recorded the song, I had this desire to write a book out of that song, writing about my testimony. But when I saw that you wrote the book, I was like, man, this woman took my idea. What am I going to do now?
No,
yeah, she stole my
God
idea.
is just allowing us to come together.
Yes, I said, but no, I think maybe she shared her story, then I could also share mine from my perspective as well, But would you say you writing that book, was it your testimony?
Yes, girl.
Yeah.
It's all about me.
What motivated you to write the book? And just tell us a bit about the contents of that book. It's not over till God says it's over. I believe it can be such an inspiration as well to somebody out there.
It's a lot of things that I've written. I've also written a book about forgiveness. I just want to tie them.
We're gonna go through all
them
those.
Together,
yeah,
because with the first book, like I said, there were things that I used to do before I got born again. And one of the things maybe people will not say, especially ladies, that I was involved with a married man. So I was involved with a married man before I got born again. And I had to learn something from that experience, because most of the ladies, you are bound with this man who will tell you stories most of the time. Sometimes he will also lie to you, saying that, no, this woman is not enough. No, I'm about to leave her. Just wait. But you will wait until it come. I don't know if you understand that term. You will wait. You'll even tell you, I have moved out of the bedroom, but you are not there to see if he went back the following day. So you'll be there, you'll be miserable. So
raising your hopes.
Baby girl, get out of that relationship. You are worth far more than what you are allowing yourself to be.
That's a very interesting, point right there. Because there are so many women who go through the same experience.
Even those that are born again, let me emphasize. Things are happening. Time for pretension should be over, because most of the time we talk about issues as if things are not happening in the house of the Lord. In actual fact, a lot of them are happening because they are hidden. At least somebody who's out there, they are not hiding anything. But I mean, those that are Christians, we try to hide the things that we are doing, and even the guilt is also eating you up. But I just want to let you know that it's possible to come out of those situations. It's possible. God is able to help us to, living your life without guilt. You may pretend as if you don't care, because sometimes say, no, I don't care. I don't need anything serious. Who doesn't need anything serious? Are you not taking yourself serious? If you say you don't need anything serious, it means you don't take yourself.
But honestly, let me ask you this from a personal point of view. Did you really think that this man was going to leave, the wife for you when you were in that relationship? Because that's an illusion that most women have.
The truth is that when I think it was immediately after I was married, and I felt that I don't need anything serious.
Oh, yeah. you were married as well.
Yeah, I was.
You were married.
I was nearly
also involved with another married man.
There's a story where this man wanted to kill me.
Oh no!
He nearly shot me. Yeah.
So he found out about your affair.
No, it's not. No, it's not related.
Okay.
It's not related.
Yeah.
I mean, the man who married me.
Oh.
Before everything was over, he wanted to kill me. That's why I had to run away.
Yeah,
it
was a mess.
It was a mess. But later on, I told myself, okay, I've been married before, so why should I get something? I don't want to be involved. When you are still bruised,
right,
emotionally broken down, you tell yourself, or I don't need anything serious.
Mm.
So that's how
I don't want something that's going to I'm
that's
gonna
how I
commit
got
to.
involved with this man.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's not like I was expecting anything, but you can't fool emotions.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You can't fool emotions. With time, you get attached to the person.
Hmm.
You are tied to the soul of this person, and you expect more from the person. It's not like I expected him to divorce, but they will talk,
Mm.
when it's like, they want you to be secured in that
Right.
space
Yeah.
where they will be able to find you.
Mm.
He is with the wife, but at the same time, he's trying to secure his space, telling you all those kinds of stories. But yeah, I think the disaster was that I got attached, and
Sure.
the wife ultimately
Found
found
out.
out.
How did the wife find out? You don't know.
I don't know.
And when you were
even
thinking you were
recently-
keeping it a secret, I'm
recently
sure.
I was watching Skim Sam,
Mm.
and I'm like, people are watching these stories. They think they're just stories. No,
It's real life
it's
stories.
real life,
They
and
do
it becomes
happen.
nasty, and you don't want to be caught in such situation. Fortunately, the wife came to my house.
Yeah.
Fortunately, she was a lady. She just came to take what belonged to her. So she just asked me, where is he? Because the car was parked outside.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing. But we thank God for Jesus.
I can imagine what you were going
God
through.
for Jesus, but I was scared because later on I was even told that the younger brother is somebody who's using something like that. So my life in
Thank
a
God
traffic
for
was in
God's
danger.
grace. Thank
So
God
because
that
of
He
God's
covered
grace,
you.
yeah, God covered me. So what am I saying? You might not be covered. Don't take that risk. Don't take that risk.
You never
Wait
know.
upon the Lord.
Sure.
Wait upon the Lord. So it's all about my first book. And the second book, because I had also issues with my mother when we were growing up, sibling rivalry, such things. So in my second book, I'm talking about forgiveness. Because the first thing when I got born again, the first thing that, for the first time when you hear people saying, Mina, God said to me, I shouldn't do that. And sometimes you say, God talking to human beings. But the first message that I got from the Lord was, just go to your mother and ask her to forgive you. And I was like, no, it can't be God. It can't be God.
You started rebuking.
Yes, no, God knows what happened
Resisting
between
the
me
devil, like,
and
no.
my mom. So
Yeah.
no, this is not God. But ultimately, I had to ask myself, because that time I was not deep in the things, I had to ask myself one question. There's no devil who'll ask you to go and forgive anyone.
No.
So it means this really
It
comes
must
from the
be
Lord.
God.
So
It
that
must
was
be
my
God.
major. I think even now, most of my messages are based on forgiveness, because I understand the healing and the deliverance behind forgiving somebody. So it started there. So yeah.
Goodness.
So
What a journey.
I explain more in my second book about rather be a fool for God. Forgiveness liberates.
It sounds to me like the books that you write are inspired by the life experiences that you go through, is it? So whatever things that you go through in life.
You know what I told myself? That everything that the devil used to try and cause damage, I care about he comes to steal,
kill and destroy. Yeah.
Everything that he used in my life from childhood until now, I'm feeding him back with the same things. I'm using it to the glory of God. I am talking about the stories so that somebody else should not stay in the mess that I allowed myself to stay in. So even there's a story, because ultimately I met the wife to this man, the married man, later on in life. And then at that point in time, she had forgotten me. But
Wow, you still remember?
I remembered, and we spoke, and I asked her to forgive me.
Are they still married?
And yeah, I think so. I think they're still married, and I'm happy.
Yes, that you did not destroy them.
Yeah, I'm happy they're still married.
You. And
we-
how did she feel when you explained
when we met?
Yeah, when you met and you took her back.
She didn't expect it.
Sure.
She even wanted to give me a lift, but she was not maybe aware that I had my own
Yes.
car. So, but
yes.
yeah, God will allow us to heal in different ways. If you are prepared to take that step of faith and say, it's not going to be easy, but let me just do it. Rather, but faith without action is dead. So most of the time I try to live out the word of God.
Yeah.
And I've seen it working. It's not always easy. Situations are not the same, but forgiveness does liberate. No, you'll never be. At that point in time, when you want to go and say sorry to somebody, you'll feel like you're a fool. But let me tell you, the results thereof are just
amazing. They're amazing. Yeah. All your titles, I mean, the titles of your books are so interesting. They are so catchy, so interesting. I also love this one. Is marriage a yardstick for Christian maturity? What was that all about? How did you even come up with that? What inspired you to write about something like that?
That's why I'm saying, because personally, I told myself, the Bible says we conquer through the blood of Jesus and through the word of our testimonies.
Yeah.
But are we doing enough of that? The things that we see, like I said, we have Christians who are doing this, Christians who are still doing that in front of us, but we don't want to talk about those things.
We hide them.
We hide them, and the more we hide, the more people find it comfortable to do them, because nobody wants to talk about them. So when I started writing, I told myself, I will be transparent,
open
about the things that I personally went through. If you want to hide yours, it's your choice. It's your choice.
Yeah.
But I will use the things, like I said, what the devil tried to destroy me with. I'll use the weapon to beat him at his own game. So the book about the relationships, it's like, people are waiting for somebody to make them happy. So maybe the title comes from you waiting. I will be okay when I get married.
Yeah.
And once you get
you
married,
don't live until
you don't live your life to the fullest. He came so that we can enjoy life to the fullest. But you don't enjoy that life to the fullest. And you don't even want to ask yourself, why you're not enjoying that life to the fullest? Because deep down yourself, you're waiting for somebody to make you happy, and no one will make you happy. If Jesus is not enough for you, no man, no woman on this earth will make you happy.
Yeah,
so
will make you enough.
This title is addressing the fact, are you happy alone first? You need to be happy alone before you become happy with somebody. Because if you are miserable alone, you're going to make somebody miserable if you meet.
Hey, powerful, powerful.
So marriage is not supposed to be used as a yardstick for Christian maturity.
Powerful. Hey, I'm sure you even speak, ne? Do you speak in like marriage, single seminars, marriage seminars, such things?
Yes, I am invited to different.
Sure. Yeah.
I can speak.
And I'm sure this book has also been one book that has had so much impact in such
that
occasions.
One, they buy it silently.
Silently. They don't want people to notice.
Relationship
issues.
Issues are all over. They do buy, most of the time they buy this one on forgiveness. We all are aware that there are a lot of frictions in the churches. So a lot of people are openly buying the one on forgiveness. That one, a lot of people are buying it, and I get a lot of testimonies back. This one, on the first one, I encourage people. Sometimes, you have friends who are not born again. You can just buy the book for them. Because a lot of people are feeling guilty, or they carry the shame of their past and all that. But once they read this book, they realize, all right, there's nothing that I can just hold on to. And it's surprising that even after, when a person wants to buy a book, even if they're born again, you can't say, no, don't buy that book. They will tell you, after reading this book, I feel I'm free to talk about what I went through.
Yeah, my experience.
Because talking about your experiences heals.
It does.
It heals you. Speaking.
It sets you free.
Yeah,
it sets you free.
To a certain extent, you are relieved somehow, because you're taking all the poison that is in your soul out. That is why even when you go to a psychologist, they will allow you to sit there and talk and talk and talk. Because when you start speaking out about whatever it is that is hurting you, you become released from that pain.
Now tell me, has writing, being an author, always been something that you wanted to pursue, or how did that come about?
No, it's not some. That's why I'm saying I never even imagined. When after writing the first book, I was struggling to publish it, and in the process, I said, "What is this? Is it the gift, or what is happening?" Remember, I told you the reason why I wanted to write in the first place.
Yeah.
So I asked myself, are you a gift or what? I said, okay, let me start. In the meantime, let me try and start writing something else.
Yeah.
So I started with the second book. I remember one lady was standing behind me whilst I was busy writing, and she said, "You can write, ne?" At that time,
Sure.
you can write, ne? And she encouraged me. So, yeah, I continued with the second book. By the time I published the first book, the second book, I had already finished the second book.
But so prior to you even starting with your first book, let me say, have you always had the desire to be No, not at all.
Not at all. I was just a storyteller. I was just one person, that person before I got born, and that would relate stories. If I saw these things that are playing on TV, what do they call? Soapies and whatnot. If somebody missed something, they will call me lunchtime. Come and relate.
So they know what
I think God was just preparing me to come and tell stories later on. Yeah, I think. Yeah. No,
but at what point in your life did you realize that this was a gift? This was what I wanted to pursue. This was my calling. Because I believe for you to have written 7 books, there must have been that moment when you realized this is the path that I believe God wants me to take, that God wants me to pursue.
I think in the process of people starting reading the books, and people were like, "Yo, you are helping us with these books," and maybe I started having interest now, because I realized, I remember that book that I wrote is about death's name.
Yeah.
I remember I was supposed to go and speak we had a radio station at Harankwa Hospital. So they would usually call me to come and speak there. So I had prepared something about deaths. So during tea time at work, I said to the girls, let me start with you. Let me practice with you, because I'm going to the radio station. After that lecture, it was something else. God works in mysterious ways. Then people were saying, okay, the following day, somebody was saying, we are told when you gave a lecture yesterday and we were not there, and it's about death, and it's an important subject, and we missed it. Can you kindly do it for us? And I did. I went to the radio station, and somebody, and that lady passed away. May her soul rest in peace. She said to me, Eva, no, there are a lot of people who are struggling with this. Some won't even tell you. Why? Because you're already writing. Why don't you write a book about deaths?
So there was a demand right there.
It was a demand, and I responded to the demand. And from there, I just knew. After that, I know it's a gift that I should just pursue this.
You know, I always tell people that some things in life, you don't get to choose them; they choose you.
They choose you, exactly.
So I think your story, as far as becoming an author, is one of those things where you never really, started pursuing it, or maybe it came from the passion you once had or anything. But as you continued in your journey, it just chose you, and you just saw yourself surrendering into this thing.
And I'm surrendering because it's no longer dependent on how many books they've bought or not.
Yeah.
As long as I feel I want to release this thing that God has put in me, I just start,
But do you feel it's your calling?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely it is a calling.
You find a sense of fulfillment doing it. But how challenging, how hard is it to write a book?
If you're graced to do something, that it's not hard. Because it fascinates me now, because every time I sit down on the computer, I'll only read the last paragraph, and from there I'll flow from it.
You have a gift.
From there I'll flow, and that is why I know it's not me, it's God. Because sometimes I ask myself, it doesn't even make sense to me. How do you do this? How do I get the titles of even the subtitles and all that?
Yeah.
Because
the
chapters and it's just amazing what God can do through us if we allow Him.
And how long does it take you? Let's say one book. How long does it?
I don't do that.
How do you do it?
I don't pressurize myself.
So you do it in your own pace.
Yeah. If I need to write, then I stand up.
If you feel an inspiration of something.
If it's the 2 hours or 3 hours, I'll do. If it's maybe 30 minutes. I remember when I was there was a time I had pressure at work before I left at work, and then I was admitted at Vista. So when I came back, because they will give you medication sometimes, and they make you feel drowsy sometimes.
Yeah.
And I just said, when I was at the Bible college, there were things that I used to write on a certain book. I was not even aware that I was going to use those things later on. I will just maybe take one title and write things down. And at that time, I felt, will I be able to write again? Because, when things are, tied to, your mind is like, everything is sluggish. I told myself, let me go back to that book and see if I can not do something about it. That's when I went to that notebook and I wrote a book from that. Because I didn't want to get stuck somewhere and say, no, I can't write, because those things were written already. I just translated that into a book. Wow, and I think this book, that the word of God is sweet as honey.
Oh, my good.
Yeah.
My goodness.
My goodness. Come in different ways. And ways. But I'm giving glory to our Father.
And it's so awesome to find your passion, to find your sense of fulfillment and calling, and be able, especially now that you're retired. You're a retired nurse. It's not like you've lost. Oh, you're still a nurse who is at home now, focusing on another calling. Maybe I should put it that way, right? You are still a nurse who is now just, something has captured you. Another calling has just captured you.
Yes, girl.
Yeah. So But it's amazing. I find your story very, very fascinating indeed. How have your books been received since you started becoming an author?
Because I'm transparent. Yeah.
And people want transparent things, juicy stuff.
They are not ready.
That's what they want to hear.
They are not ready for the transparency. The feedback that I get. Sure. How could you
say all that in a book?
But that's the truth. Yeah. I remember even before the first book came out, I took my manuscript and gave it to my younger sister and one pastor friend of mine.
Right.
Then my younger sister came back to me and said, yeah. What's the problem? You're really born again. Eh?
For you to just be in the open like that.
Again.
Yeah.
No, the things that you've written, I will never write them. No, it's because you are not me. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And then the lady pastor was like, oh, you mean you're going to publish this?
Get it into the open for the world to.
Let's come out of the closet. People. Let's come out of there. There's somebody who needs your story, and your story might not be. Even the same title. Maybe I'm thinking, or you might use the same title as mine, and we can make it. It's not over until God says it's over. Part 2.
Yes.
Yes. And you'll become.
Oh my goodness. Oh my part 2.
Part 2.
Yes. Co-authored by. Yeah.
You see, girl.
It would be something. Let me tell you.
Something. It's our stories.
It's our stories, right? It's our stories. We want to come to the open and say, you know what? Sure. Yeah. I'm really inspired by your stories, by how God has worked through your life. And one thing I love about you, you're such a courageous woman.
You don't see yourself.
It takes courage, you know,
like that, yeah?
To speak about your life in the open like that, be transparent like that, without any fear, without even thinking of what people would say about you and what they will think about you.
It's all about God. It's all about God.
Yeah.
No reputation. My reputation is in knowing Him. He made a difference in my life. So why should I hide something that He knows already?
Right.
He is the rewarder, not people. People will talk and they'll forget. But I want them to remember that, especially those who are still in wrong relationships, to know that, God is able to help you.
He can deliver you.
He can. He's able to. He did with me, and He can.
What a story. What a story. And I believe that the more courageous you become, the more transparent you become, the more women are able to identify with the issues that they go through your story. And I believe that it will also give them courage that it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's okay to be transparent. Yeah. There's no need to hide behind the shadows.
You are not your past.
Yeah.
Why hide behind? You are not your past. As long as you are able to move on and glorify God.
And as long as God uses your story as a testimony to heal somebody, to deliver somebody, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it to be transparent like that. Yeah. Wow. So where do you see yourself? Like, what should we be expecting from Pastor Eva? Your hopes, your aspirations as an author. Is that an untouchable question?
No, the one who started the good work in me.
He's
still busy with me.
Yeah.
I'm busy right now. I'm about to finish the 8th book. And there's another 9th and 10th one in the pipeline. So that's
so busy.
So we are heading there.
Yeah.
To the glory of God. Yes, definitely.
Sure. Yeah. Are you hoping maybe one day to see your books in bookstores?
Yeah, that is a sore area because most of the time our books are not taken.
Right.
In bookstores, we sell most of the time when we go and preach, that's when people buy our books. Some of the pastors will volunteer to sell books in their church.
Yeah.
And I think one thing maybe that I need to talk about, maybe if you, especially to men and women of God, sometimes, when we're having conferences, they will say ladies' conference or whatever conference, they will call you. But what I've seen is that most of the time our programs are longer. By the time we finish, people are tired. They don't even get time.
They don't have time to go there.
Yeah, and sometimes you find that they've made you to pay for those stalls. You've paid for the stalls. You are there waiting, people, and when people are tired, you can say, "Hey,
no, they just want to go home. They want to go to their cars and leave."
If people are saying we want, your gift to be known, more especially if you paid for the stalls, there should be a space somewhere in the program for people to go and see what's happening at the stalls. If they didn't buy, they didn't buy. But the fact
at least you've given them time
to
see what. That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good advice.
That's my plea to men and women of God to just help us in that regard.
Yeah.
Bookstores, it's another story that I don't want to get into, but it's just one horror movie that is happening.
Sure. Let's trust that it will improve, now that you've spoken your heart and given a piece of advice in terms of how to handle it. I think it can go a long way. They should be considerate.
How we had to arrive here. God is always at work.
Yeah.
Allowing all things to work together for our good.
True. You're right. You're a pastor as well. I'm interested in you telling our listeners, our viewers, a bit about your ministry as a pastor. How did that come about? Those are my last questions. I'm not going to ask you.
There's so much. I didn't want to be a pastor.
What happened?
I didn't want to, that I'm being honest. I didn't want to be a pastor.
How did you end up?
And I didn't even think that I'm qualified to be a pastor.
Right.
Because first of all, I'm a very strict person. And maybe because of when I was serving somewhere in a church, in one of the churches, people felt that you're too strict. So, I told myself, if you are very strict and you have that thing, you're supposed to start a church. People are going to
run away.
Yeah. So you are not a candidate. You are not a candidate. You write books, yes, but you can't be a pastor.
Yeah.
But God, our God, He knows how to get us, even when we are in hiding.
True.
It was in 2018 when I surrendered to just go and start the ministry. I was involved in an accident. There was a truck that came, and that day I was a passenger. When I saw that truck, it was coming this way. There was no way that he was going to go this side because there was a wall on the other side. The other side, there was another car.
Right.
So I was just faced with that car, and I told myself that finito is the end of everything.
You just saw death right there in front of you.
I was confronted with death. But because God is God, I didn't die. I ended up in ICU with broken ribs and other things.
And the person who was driving the car?
No, he was fine. I don't know how that guy tried to, I don't even know what happened. Because even when I heard voices from outside, to me, it was like maybe it's still coming. But when they tried to remove me from the then I realized, something horrible happened. the lady was okay, but he was delirious. She was not okay, for obvious reasons. So I was admitted in hospital in ICU for a week, and then from there, during my stay in hospital, that's when I had a vision. In that vision, I saw, they are mounting TVs in the hospital.
Right.
TVs. So I saw in that TV, all of a sudden, the TV station changed into a church service. So I was watching that TV.
My goodness.
It was a church service, and then in the process, the doctor was busy because I get it now that the ribs are broken, the lungs are pierced, there's blood in the lungs. So they were trying to take out the blood from my lungs. So they were doing that procedure when I saw this vision. So in that vision, we were singing. There's this song, Hallelujah. So yeah, we were singing that song. We were excited. But that's why I'm not even sure whether it was a trance or a vision. Because when they were about to stop the procedure, I could not sing with them anymore. And then I kept on struggling to say, Ongu Jehovah, O Pilayo.
Yeah.
You are the living God.
Right.
You are the living God. The song is in Zulu. So I was like, and then I heard voices beside me saying, oh, she must be a pastor. She must be a pastor. And I was like, and at that time I had bought instruments.
What did you buy them for?
They were somewhere. I can't know. You say, yes, Lord, and from there you say, no, it can't be me.
Okay, so it was not the first time you had that.
No, it was a confirmation.
Yeah, okay, I hear you.
I was like, my money was going to be eaten by those guys without anyone, because I was doing things silently, quietly. Yeah. So when I woke up, I was asking myself, was I hearing them asking whether I was a pastor or what was happening? And then the following day, I wanted to ask one sister, tell me, are you the one who was doing that procedure yesterday?
Right, yeah.
And then she said, no, it was this one. And then I had to wait for her. And I asked her, tell me, when you were busy doing that procedure, was I singing? Actually, it's madness. You can ask people, was I singing? And she says, yes, you were singing. And then, did you say maybe something about me being a pastor? Yes, I said it. So now I couldn't reconcile them saying that and then the TV station changing and all those things. And I was like, God, now I think I hear you. I nearly died now because of this, because I'm trying to, 1 minute I'm out, 1 minute.
It was a wake-up call.
It was a wake-up call for me. And from there, then I started the gym.
You had to be obedient.
I had to be obedient because I just told myself, my life in actual fact ended that day on that road where I nearly died. I could have died if it was the will of God. But I told myself, God has allowed me to live for
this purpose. Yeah, for this purpose.
For this purpose.
So now you are pastoring, you are an author. It's like your ministry has just expanded in so many ways. And apart from also being an author, you are also a songwriter. Amazing.
You don't leave it student thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
I've been writing songs forever.
Is it? So did you start writing songs before you started writing
books?
Before
I started writing, because I was in the choir before. So I remember I would come back with a song and they will sing it. Sometimes they will not take it, but I kept on writing.
Yeah,
I kept on writing. So when people take you are an author, you are writing books, so you can't be a songwriter.
Right.
So sometimes I'll get somebody who's singing and say, but I'm writing songs. They'll say, oh, songs.
They will.
And they will ignore it. And
Yeah.
they'll say, okay, one day I'll sing my song. Oh, well, no, you don't have the voice to sing. So this time I told myself, I'm not going to listen to anyone. I'm going to sing some of my songs, so that those who are interested to get songs from you will see what I do have a gift. So yeah, I recorded 9 of my own written songs. So yeah.
So it's an album. It's an album that I can't wait to hear that album. I can't wait to hear it. And maybe next time when you come back, we will talk about that album. Look at that. No, we will definitely gonna talk about. Do you know on Fridays I have a segment where I interview artists, people who have produced their music, songwriters, producers, and all that. So I think next time I'll consider bringing you so that we can hear those songs that we have written, and so that you can tell us more, because there are a lot of artists who are looking for songwriters as well. Yes.
I've plenty, more than 12.
Yeah. So you'll never know when you start sharing your music, sharing the songs that you have, you may even get into partnership with other artists who are already out there in the industry, and they sing your songs.
Yes, girl.
And the songs get to be exposed, not just in South Africa, but internationally, because we will be playing them here on Africa USA Radio.
Yes,
so let's not limit God. Yeah.
The days of
Small beginnings. Yeah. But Pastor Eva, thank you so much. It's been such a great pleasure. It's been such an honor. I've really enjoyed myself chatting with you. I can talk with you forever. Let me tell you. Yeah. So it's been such a great pleasure. And may God continue to bless your ministry. May He expand your territory. And even your church, may He even expand it and bless it beyond measure. And I'm sure next time when you come back, we'll talk more about your ministry beyond you as an author. So thank you so much for honoring us. Africa USA Radio is privileged to have you.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I'm also honored to be here.
Well, there you have it. That was Pastor Eva Chauke, the author of many, many books. She wrote 7 books. So if you'd like to get her books, where can they get your books? If anybody needs your books, where are they available?
079-744-8112.
Okay, can you repeat it again?
079-744-8112. Those that are staying in Soweto somewhere, they are sold at Chauke TV.
Okay.
There are some copies that are there.
That are there.
Just go and get them from that place.
All right. Yeah. Well, there you have it. You can get hold of her if you need any of the books that she spoke about, and you feel that they can have an impact or maybe can help you in one area or the other. Please make sure you contact her for those books. That's all that we had for you today. Until next time, this is me, Naomi Wesi, saying, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May He cause His face to shine upon you and give you peace till we meet again. Same time, same place, right here on Africa USA Radio.